Hi, everyone. Welcome to Marketplace Masters, where we explore the strategies driving success for Amazon vendors and agencies. My name is Paul Sonneveld, the host of this podcast and a co-founder here at Merchant Spring. Today, we're diving into an agency best practice that challenges one of the biggest assumptions in our industry, that, scaling means hiring, means expanding, and the like. I've invited a very special guest today. His name is Aaron Moore. Some of you may already be familiar with him. He's one of our longest clients actually here at Merchant Spring. And he's the founder of More Growth, a one-person Amazon agency that manages some of the largest and most complex vendor accounts entirely solo. While other agencies expand through headcount, offshoring, Aaron has made a very deliberate decision, and we've debated this multiple times over the years, deliberate decision to stay lean, maximizing the profitability, efficiency, and really his client relationships. So he's gone a very different path to many of the traditional sort of Amazon agencies in our space. So over the next 30 minutes, we're going to explore why he made this choice and how he actually does this, which is probably the more important question. How do you actually, I think a lot of people like the idea, but they can't see a way to actually make that happen. So we're going to go deep into the systems behind this model, how he does it, and what lessons other agencies, particularly those that are, smaller or run by solo entrepreneurs, can take away from it. So I'm looking forward to a fantastic discussion. Aaron, it's great to have you here. You and I known each other for many, many years. You have, I think we were just talking, you're, I think, one of in the first 5 customers of Merchant Spring. So that's sort of spanning back like, 5 years, I guess. So it's been privileged to be sort of on the sidelines of your journey over the last 5 years. And I really look forward to getting into today's topic.
Well, hey, thanks for having me, and thanks for letting me be a part of your journey as well. I mean, we kind of synergistically helped each other along the way. I needed a scoreboard, and you needed customers, and then together we needed feedback to keep making it better. And thanks for listening to some of the changes, and having me along for the journey. So
Yeah. Yeah, no, I just actually, for some of the other Merchant Spring clients that are maybe tuning in here, a lot of the features that you may be using on a day-to-day basis can be directly credited back to Aaron. He was certainly very instrumental in driving that. So awesome. All right, well, let's get into our topic. Just a reminder to our audience, as per usual, this is a live show. And one of the benefits of the live show is that you get to ask questions and I get to, as we say in Australia, handball them to our guest speaker, in this case, Aaron. So if you do have a question or a comment, please use the LinkedIn event comment section or the YouTube comments. They will surface in our platform and I will post them to Aaron towards the end of this show. So please keep your questions coming. All right, Aaron, let's dig into our topic for today. Maybe I'd love to just understand a little bit of your backstory, right?
yeah.
How did you end up in this position? How did you come to build More Growth as a one-person agency?
Well, I think it honestly, for if you want to analyze yourself, it goes back to my college background. My college background was in mechanical engineering and international business, and it taught me the word optimization. There's several forms of optimization in the engineering world, and after college, I joined a company that was just doing less than $1 million a year, and my only goal was to increase sales. I was a sales manager, smaller company, whatever. In the first 5 years, I went from $1 million to $15 million in sales. And in that 10-year span that I was with the company, we generated over $100 million in sales. How did I do it? I optimized. I just found the best sellers and the best way to get them and the best way to do it. And in the beginning, it was omnichannel. In the end, it was Amazon. So I learned to optimize business all around, and I learned Amazon really well. And then after 10 years there, the company was purchased. It was ultimately purchased for our revenue stream on Amazon because it was strong and profitable. And then I had to walk away from the industry and the technology that I was selling. And the next best thing I knew was Amazon. Started selling myself started reselling my own products and everything else. People started asking me. I started doing it for free for them. And a couple clients later, I started charging them, and I kept on charging more. And 6 years later, I have an Amazon agency, and I basically am just repurposing my playbook of optimization that I learned in the trenches, keeping it going now. And because I knew how to do it, I didn't need any help. I think you're muted.
Oh, yeah, that's a great story, Aaron. Always love the backstory, just the human element to it, right? So, I mean, you've been running an agency for multiple years now. You've been growing. You do all of the business development yourself. Um, at some point, probably lots of times along the way, and I'm sure this still happens, it's an ongoing cycle, right? You continually to choose not to hire someone, right? I feel like for us, as we were growing, the first natural instinct is, oh, I'm doing business development, I'm doing operations, I'm trying to deliver, I'm getting very little sleep. We need more bodies. Let's throw more bodies at the problem, right? Or the opportunity, depending how you phrase it. But clearly, that's not your approach, right? So I want to know what influenced your decision really not to hire anyone as your client base grew.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, it was an interesting. I still go back to optimization. So it was interesting. Once I sold, I wanted to go work for another multi-million-dollar company and blow their Amazon out of the water again. That's what I wanted to do. That was my goal, to do that. So I was doing Amazon on the side, helping out clients on the side, and applying for e-commerce positions. And I got denied from every single one of them. Sometimes last round, sometimes first rounds. They all said one thing: you're too Amazon heavy. So I was building this agency on the side and building Amazon work on the side with kind of like the exit strategy of, well, I'm just gonna go work for another company again and blow their Amazon out of the water. Well, that opportunity never came. So I was keeping lean and mean for the opportunity to step out if I need to, and it never came. So, and then I kind of just shifted back to more, all right, well, no one's going to hire me. I've got to hire myself. Let's keep on going. And then what do I have an advantage of that all these other companies, even the companies I was applying for, like what I learned about their systems and compared to what I just came from. And lean and mean, lean and mean kept on coming up again, and lean and mean and fast um, kept on coming again. And even now today, speed and precision allow for the greatest sales or the greatest influence on Amazon, period. And that's still, it's a driving factor in what I do now. Again, the company that I sold was over 50 people. So that was an interesting time. But to grow lean and mean and stay fast and efficient and help customers, clients sell more faster, it just seems like a no-brainer to me.
mm, that's the second time I hear that this week around, particularly in the context of Amazon. Speed is so essential.
Hmm.
I think I always walk around with the idea, right? If you're big, you've got scale, your unit costs are lower. Like this is sort of the ex-consultant talking into me, like, reading all the strategy books, but
Yeah.
actually, you want to be quick. Amazon is an opportunities vaporize very, very quickly. You got to act on it. You can't have a committee. You can't decide. You can't throw a meeting to discuss what you're going to do. Sometimes you got to do it. So
Yep.
completely understand that. And clearly, running a one-person agency is a very different day-to-day experience for you as it is, say, let's say you're running a 50-person agency where you're sort of looking after, uh, all of the brands or all of ops or all of that. You're essentially becoming a people manager, right? You're starting to, like a football coach
Yeah.
type of stuff.
Yeah.
So very, very interesting. Of course, I mean, I know you've got a lot of clients and they are big, right? I can, I see them,
You,
right?
you see you I can't lie, you see the numbers, right?
I see the numbers, and if I mean, we're not going to share it now, but if I showed you anyone like Merchant Spring, Aaron's Merchant Spring login, when you log in, you go, how does this guy do that much, revenue, both seller and a bit of vendor, um, really massive accounts, right? Um, how do you make it work? Like, what's the secret sauce?
Yeah.
How do you do it? And by the way, he still looks the same like he did 5 years ago. You haven't aged that much, right? Your hair is not too gray. I'm not seeing too many wrinkles. You've done it sustainably and successfully in the last 5 years. So tell us more about the how.
Golly, it just Just do the beautiful, boring basics longer and harder and faster than anybody else around you. And even when you don't want to do it, just do it again. So no, it goes back to of a simple system. Um, here's how I break down my week, and the only thing that changes it. So the at the beginning of my week is reporting to clients from Merchant Spring because they got the best reporting tool that's completely what's it called? I could I could change and put in different functions for each client, but it's a list of KPIs, about 8 pages worth of KPIs that each and everybody in the company loves to look at, each person. So the week starts out with reporting and alignment. I give them a sit rep situation report for what's going on, and here's the report, and here's what I'm working on, and here's what I did. And then the rest of the week follows this easy cadence, not easy cadence, but consistent cadence. Tuesday is restocking. Wednesday is advertising. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday is all optimization until Monday's reporting happens again. I work on those kind of 5 pillars of reporting and then in every segment of it. And the only thing that stops me is when a health issue arises. On that Monday reporting, that's also when I check all my health, or I check it through the week. And then Merchant Spring also has email reminders and stuff like that when there is health issues. But it's a steady cadence of 5 pillars that I stay on. That for inventory, I keep 90 days of stock for all SKUs if I can. For advertising, I have a North Star of a 10% tacos and 4 ROAS. For optimization, really my goal is to stay competitive and stay month over month, year over year, week over week, increasing sales, and either A/B testing or just completely revamping stuff when it needs to. And I work in that cadence, whether I like it or not, whether I want to or not, but it just works.
Yeah, that's a really interesting model. I do. There is a follow-up question here, though, which is the
Mhm.
optimization for the remainder of the week.
Yeah.
Like even within though, you have to prioritize, right? Because you could spend, I'm sure you can pick one of your customers and you can spend the rest of the week just optimizing them, right? So
Hmm.
what is your framework for determining like what is your priority list when it comes to optimization? Which client, is it, are you
Hmm.
optimizing listings? Are you optimizing, images?
Yep.
There's different aspects you can touch in relation to Amazon's performance. What framework do you use to prioritize?
Good question. Yeah, you could absolutely get lost in anything if you don't have a focus. One answer on Mondays, kind of like my big health check days or whatever. Um, Voice of the customer. So I look at voice of the customer complaints on every single client I have. And then that is my North Star on what to change next. Okay. So voice of the customer complaint about it's the wrong size, not as expected. It doesn't function correctly, blah, 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 something like that. I use that voice of the customer first. And and basically that allows me to focus my optimization. Do I need to update text? Do I need to update text in the bullet points? Do I need to update images? Do I need to reorder images? Do I need to add a video? If you're selling something that includes another part to it, and they keep on asking about the other part, if say you're selling kitchen appliances and it comes with a tool bag to fix your kitchen appliances with, and they keep on asking about the kitchen appliances or the bag, show that more. Show a video of that. And so it's the voice of the customer is the optimization North Star on what to do. And on Mondays, I go through it all. I'll log it all for each client, and through basically a simple system of, um, you know, if I want to redo text, I pull all the keywords I want to everywhere, and then re-optimize it through there through imagery updates and everything. It's Canva, just quick text, or sometimes a brand new picture off the client's website, put it up there, reorder it, go. But voice of the customer first really drives home the health aspect of the account and also what the customer complaints are. Because man, you get one more voice of the customer negative review, it could shut down an ASIN.
Mm, that's a great little nugget. I've not heard many agencies talk about that. Maybe it's not because they're not doing it, but really so focused on start with a customer, what are they saying, and then use that as a framework for prioritizing. What to focus on when it comes to optimization.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a great nugget there. certainly for anyone sort of listening to this going, "Oh, it's a good reminder," right? To
Yeah.
some extent, we do all of this, but just to be laser focused on it, really, really helps.
Yep.
Which brings me to sort of the next question, right? I know you're like an avid user of Merchant Spring. We appreciate your support. But outside of Merchant Spring, what else is in your tech stack, right?
Yeah.
Particularly when it comes to managing priorities and workflows. Is it
hmm
Excel based? You're using Asana? Like, what does it look like for you?
It's funny. No, my workflow software, you won't believe this. It's Notes, Amazon Notes, or not Amazon Notes, but Apple Notes is my workflow. I could put everything in Notes. I could have all the calendar, all the what's it called? All the folders in there, all the checklists, all the information. So for my workflow is Notes for every single client. If a client's address changes on a UPS pickup, I update it there. Anything else goes in there. So um, for workflow, and guess how much I pay for it? Not not
Yeah,
I'm not trying to save money. I'm just trying to do the simplest platform that's everywhere. And then sometimes with clients, if I want to share that note, as long as they're Mac, we can work off the same note, like we would a Asana board or a Monday board or whatever. And I've
yeah.
used them all, and I've paid all their money for it. But for what I do and how I do it for a one-man operation, one-person operation, that's all I need.
Well, I think there's a hidden benefit here as well, right? Around running a one-person agency. You don't need to route tasks to different people and then check on them and make sure they're actually doing it and have they updated the status and have they updated the client. Like, there's whole systems
Yeah,
they're out there, right? Just to do that. But actually, if it's just you just
yeah.
need to have the information in a place where it's easily accessible and referenceable, right? That's
And
it.
it goes
Um,
back to what? Speed and precision, right?
yep. Absolutely. That is so interesting. So just to round out this question, what else is in your tech stack? We got Notes,
Okay.
we got Merchant Spring, we got Canva. What else are
Um,
you using?
Chat GPT.
Yep.
And I tell you what, ChatGPT has been really interesting for me for rewriting text on listings. And here's how I do it. Again, speed and precision, right? So I get a list of complaints in my VOC, in my voice of the customer about something, um, and I go, all right, here's my current what's it called, bullet points. Here's the negative bullet points that I need to turn positive. Here's a list of keywords that I pull from my search query performance report. Here's a list of, and these are all screenshots. Here's a list of top reviews I got from my client from all there. And I go, all right, Amazon or ChatGPT, I need to make 5 bullet points, 240 to 250 characters. I need a scroll stopper, 3 to 5 words, and I need you to tell me why this benefits the customer. And you need to make sure to use 1 to 2 words from the key list, and then you need to make sure to counterpoint or positive point any negative thing we have. Go. And then I have to kind of massage that a few more times and make sure it's using all the right words. But ChatGPT, and I didn't think I was going to be use ChatGPT like this, but ChatGPT doing screenshots and analyzing negative feedback and turning it into positives to better help the customer client and the listing is something I've been doing a lot more of lately.
Well, that's well, I guess ChatGPT is perfect for solo operators like yourselves, right? It will just help you go to that next level in terms of efficiency, and just taking the effort work around comparing things and putting it all in front of you and all of
Yeah.
that. Great. Hey, let's switch tech. I want to talk a little bit about business development.
Okay.
Because I think that's the next logical question, right? People might go, well, that sounds great for Aaron. He's got this model packed down. He's really busy, but he's efficient. He just gets his work done. That's great. But how do you go out and get new customers, right?
Yeah.
You need to do some business development. Where does this fit into the week, and how do you
hmm
do it, right? What does it look like for you? You didn't mention it when you went to like, what is a week in the,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
what does a week
Uh,
look like for Aaron? Where does business development fit into that?
Right. The first couple hours of every morning is I call it coffee and commenting. It's LinkedIn. Um, the first hour is met it's usually answering every single message I possibly can in a thoughtful tone and way to respond back to, answering every comment on every post, then using that information to create new posts for future. and then use the next hour or so um, to post on LinkedIn for other Amazon adjacent people that are on there. Some of them are regulars that pop up that I know. Some of them are brand new ones um, that are coming in the space, or just just first time posting on LinkedIn. Just give them a little love to go. But basically, coffee commenting on Amazon related stuff in LinkedIn. And lately, I mean, honestly, for the past several years, it's been all inbound marketing after that, after coffee and commenting on LinkedIn. And I post at least once a day, every day, sometimes multiple, sometimes different topics when that strikes me. Um, and that has been 80-90% of my business is inbound marketing leads from LinkedIn. The other, 5 to 10% has been referrals. And then every now and then, when I see a company that's not on Amazon, or on Amazon that's not doing too well, and that I just feel excited about it, I'll reach out to them and just go, "Hey, here's what I could do. Here's what I've done. Um, let's discuss," and then go from there. But basically, inbound marketing leads from LinkedIn has been the bread and butter of of business development, and it's consistent. My post drops at 5:30 a.m. local time, and I'm commenting right after that, or try to.
Mm. Which makes my next question a little bit less relevant, because I was going to ask, how do clients respond when they learn the agency is just you? But I know on LinkedIn you're very big on that. Like you don't hide it, right? You're like, I'm
No.
a solo guy. This is what I do.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you ever get like reactions from your clients? Like, are they surprised when they find out you're a one man agency? Or how do they respond? Or have you ever come up against, like, I don't know, in a pitch where they go, oh, we couldn't possibly deal with you because you don't have the specialist resources there? I mean, what do you do in those sort of
Yeah.
situations?
No, it's funny. Those happen more than I would expect, and it's usually somebody, a C-suite level person at a company, that forwards my link or something to another person in the company. Go, "Hey, check this guy out. Like, we need an agency. Give this guy a check out." So that person may not know me from LinkedIn. And so that situation does come up a lot. And I'm like, well, okay. So, and I basically, I try to learn their problems first before I tell them all my solutions, right? But really, all my solutions will fix every problem. It's just how much more time in one area that I want. But my 5 key pillars that I keep on hammering every week fixes everything for every company, whether they need it or want it or not, how they want it. And when I explain to them the key pillars, and then they usually go, "Well, who's doing that? How do I know that you're doing it right, Bob?" I'm like, "Well, I'm the guy doing it. I'm the guy doing your health checks. I'm the guy fixing your health issues. I'm the guy reading your voice of the customer. I'm your guy updating the comments, or updating the listings. I'm your guy run your advertising, but I'm also the guy that optimize every single word in your listing, so I know which words to advertise." And I start putting together the puzzle of Amazon, which is, to them, it's a puzzle, putting together the synergistic system of Amazon, and how one person running it all that knows what they're doing can keep it all going. And I go, "Hey, I also keep track of your inventory and restock your inventory. So I know when that's getting low, and I know when the restock is, so I could actually back off advertising so we don't run out, then boost it back up again as soon as it hits the shelf." So I explained to them the advantage of one person, one call, one email, and then also how I'm connected in every single. I know their brand better than they do on Amazon, because I also know all their competitors. So I put it to them. Some people are looking after they go from a bigger agency, and multiple people to work through and filters to get down to. Some people are just, they're ready for just one person that could get. Usually it's in a certain area that could just restock it on time, that could just do this something else. So put it all together. And again, sometimes people just don't want that. They think something else bigger. But when I drill down on exactly how I do it and everything else, then they're kind of usually, all right, understood. He knows what he's doing.
Mm. Yeah. Well, look, it's always great, I think, from a client point of view, to know exactly who you're going to be dealing with, as opposed to sort of dealing with the business development layer, and then
Hmm.
underneath that there might be a brand account management team layer, and then there's different people, and you're never going to kind of
Advertising. Boo, boo,
know
boo.
who's working on what, right?
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
benefits to sort of accessing skills, but a lot of people, this is about relationships still, right? Which is something that really
Hmm.
surprises me still about this industry. Everything is about relationships, and
Yeah.
to deal with someone directly like that is very, very powerful. um, so next obvious question here is, okay, so let's say you've got a great client or prospect that's walking in the door, big
Hmm.
brand, you really like them, you like the people, you think there's a lot of opportunity to really help them, but you're pretty full, right?
Mm.
What's it? Your client list is pretty full. You don't have that many spare hours. How do you make space and room for new clients in your portfolio? Given that you've put yourself a pretty hard constraint around, hey, I'm not hiring. That's not my model.
Hmm.
How do you face into those trade-offs?
Of taking on a new client or something like that
Yeah,
when you're full.
yeah. New client, and how do you stretch your time? How do you make that work?
Yeah. So sometimes it's easy. If I have a current client that is paying late or running out of inventory or just not keeping up their business side of the deal, um, that's an easy one. I could drop them. I could drop them to make room for a new client. Sometimes if I feel like something is a change on another client, like if they just got recently bought out or the communications changing, whatever, if I think they're going to fire me for whatever reason, um, then that's an easy change. The other times is something, it's just honesty to the new client. Like, hey, I could take this on. I have one client wrapping up. They gave me the 30-day notice. I could work with you in 30 days. I could start now and say work for a week or two, just getting all the back end set up, but I cannot go full strength with you until 30 days. And just be open and honest with them, and and then see if they want to take it on. Usually they're pretty accepting of that idea and everything else. And and then sometimes when I do give a pitch and I am excited about a company, I just go, hey, here's my offer. This is on a week to week basis. So next week may change, but this is not a sales pitch. This is just an offer. This may change next week. Um, if it works for you, let's jump on it. If it's not, like some clients like, oh well, I can't wait till the end of the year to work with you. Whatever. I'm like, no, that's not going to happen because end of the year, everybody wants to increase sales, right? So, yeah, just unfortunately, fire the client, the trouble client that is not doing their end of the business, and then be honest with the incoming. And sometimes it's a 30-day speed up to full speed.
Mm. Always seek to sort of, it's almost like you're trying to improve the quality of your portfolio, right?
Yeah, yeah.
It's just sort of the analogy that I'm thinking about here. Great. Look, one more question from me, and then we might open. We've got a few questions from our audience here. If you have a question for Aaron, this is your time to ask it. All right, we are live, so I'm already seeing a question here from Joel. So we'll put that in front of Aaron shortly. But before we do, final question from me, Aaron, which is more to the personal aspect of running a business solo, and this is more of a personal question, but working by yourself, working pretty hard, it can be isolating, and also you can throw in you know it's easy to do 100-hour weeks, right, as a solo business owner, very easy. So how do you manage that? How do you manage work-life balance? How do you manage burnout as well, and how do
Hmm.
you kind of stay in touch with the community as well? So maybe a bit more of a personal flavor to this question,
Hmm.
but I think that's a lot, like particularly solo agency owners. I think it's a very relevant question for them.
Sure. Okay, so first thing I do is take balance out. Take balance and throw it out the window. There is no balance in my life. There's just execution. Okay, and intense execution on some ways. So starts with the work side. I work in 20-minute increments. This is a egg timer. This is literally what I do. I have my little notebook, my note list here of things I need to tackle, and I tackle that in 20-minute increments all day until X amount of segments are executed until, like, again, Monday is a whole, I need to analyze and health checks, and then also situation reports go out. If that flows over to the next day, I work in chunks to get stuff done. Again, I have an advertising chunk in every day. So I work in 20-minute increments, and then I take a 5-minute break, and then get up, get away from the computer, get out, do something, get in the sun. And every few of those, I'll go for a 20-minute walk. And that helps me execute with intensity all day long for 4 to 10 hours a day, depending on, again, there's no balance, right? There's just execution. Then I found it extremely important to, when you're not working, is to do something intensely like work to get your mind off of work. So pickleball and golf are two activities that, if you're doing either of those activities and you're thinking about work, you are going to absolutely suck at those. And sucking at them is not fun. So you want to be good at pickleball, you got to focus on playing pickleball and get that shot in. You want to be good at hitting a golf ball, you're not going to hit it well if you're thinking about ACOS and tacos. So do something offsetting intensely. If you want to lift weights and you have time in your brain to think, you need to lift heavier. Lift that weight heavier.
Yep.
So you need to offset it with mind-freeing activities, and then repeat. And remember, balance. There is no balance, just execution.
Great advice. Great. I love the 20-minute. I try to, I'm not as disciplined as you, but it's sort of this whole resetting your brain every 20, 30 minutes, taking a break. Someone once told me that another good way to do that is when you have that break, to actually just have a little conversation with someone to make a human connection. Apparently that kind of resets the brain as well. So I used to always be the guy at the cafe, like talking to random strangers, trying to reset my brain. But
I like that.
The 20-act timer is a great idea. Great idea.
I mean, it's no batteries, no nothing. Just dial it up and go.
You just got to deal with the tick-tock in the back of your the back of the room, right?
It's very light, very light. You just kind of drone it out. But again, it's when that TikTok is a reminder to you, get this stuff done. Stay focused on that. Get it done. Execute. Like, finish this task, because if it has to roll over to the next segment, I can't stand it, man. I want to get that done. So
yeah. Competing with yourself all day long, right? Focus. Excellent. Look, it's been really, really great. I'm going to pick up a question here. I know we're about 3 minutes over, so we're going to have to go to a wrap pretty quickly. But I do want to kind of go back to your point around LinkedIn marketing. So Joel here makes a comment, really around the effectiveness of LinkedIn, right? So it seems like most of LinkedIn is international freelancers spamming for reach. I don't see much in the way of anyone, actual sellers interacting. So I think what he's asking for is LinkedIn still as effective in your perspective? And how do you, actually do BD or marketing to actual sellers as opposed to, just talking to the broader kind of Amazon service provider industry?
So I think he's asking, if you want to clarify, I think he's asking, like, how do you actually reach the actual Amazon seller to give them services or something like that? Really, it's, you got to be careful on the spamming. I don't spam. Like, that's like, if I have an intro somewhere to fix your company, I'm gonna probably start with an email and then go from there. Sellers are on Amazon everywhere, and they may not be interacting. You may not see them. You may not see any of their posts, but they are out there looking for answers all the time. And so the more value you post to your ideal client profile that you could help them with their problem, selling your service or information, they will reach out to you. And again, you have to really dial into that person and using their terminology, using their words that they're trying to do, and make content every day and comment back on your content, and try to help that customer. Be very specific and look at that. Find that customer on LinkedIn, find out what their posts are about, what they're commenting on, what they're looking at, and find out who they are. And then you start creating your content around that to fix their problems. And yes, you will be spammed by a bunch of freelancers. Enjoy the ride. Thank them for interacting with your post, because it's going to help your engagement. But as long as your message is clear clear and concise to your exact customer who you're looking for, I believe it will land, and all the inbound marketing that I've received from it inbound, I had the receipts that it works.
Mm. Thank you, Aaron. Appreciate clarifying that and your encouragement on the LinkedIn marketing front there. That is a wrap for today's episode. Aaron, I just want to say a huge thank you for coming on, sharing very openly and transparency, and really kind of teaching us that, staying small can actually mean winning big. We didn't touch on the profitability of his agency, and we probably don't want to, but let's just say, profitability is not something Aaron worries about at night, doing very well. So his story certainly proof that scaling doesn't always require headcount. It also can mean like smarter systems, stronger client relationships, and really that sharper focus on execution discipline. So that's been really fantastic. Aaron, thank you so much. I look forward to our next session together. Take care.
Thanks for having me.
All right, that is it for today. If today's conversation made you rethink your own agency's growth path, I really encourage you to reflect on, where size really adds value and where staying lean might be the smarter play. Remember, this episode was recorded live with Q&A. If you've registered, the inbox or the replay will be in your inbox very soon. Make sure to subscribe so you never miss an upcoming episode on our Agency Best Practice series. Thanks again for tuning in, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Take care.